Hi, everybody. Every day we face a lot of things, a lot of challenges, a lot of obstacles. We can also call it as the waves in the sea because the waves in the sea keep coming, they don't stop. So we can call whatever is happening in our life as waves of life, and that will always find you at one point. What matters the most is how you react to the waves. Keep calm and look at the situation from different perspective. What you can learn and if you can fix things, or do you need to start doing things all over in a different way? There will come a time when you need to start doing the same thing you have done the same way for years, a bit differently. Look for opportunities to better yourself and the things you are doing. One day, a little girl came running home to her dad while he was still working in his home office. She was very upset because she had just lost her number one spot on the chess team at the school. Her dad knew how much the chess meant to his little girl. So he took a break and suggested that they walk and talk. And they were talking about what happened. The little girl explained how hard she had worked and how much she had sacrificed to be the best. And now an older boy came from another school and just took what she was working so hard for so long. And right then, her dad got an idea. Let me tell you a story about two people who had the same thing happen to them, just a little bit differently. One of them was crushed by what had happened to him. The other one decided to learn from the situation and work harder. You see, many times you cannot prevent something from happening. The only thing you can control is how you react. The little girl looked at her dad and asked, "But what does that have to do with me?" Her dad smiled and suggested, "Let me tell you the story. And then you will tell me which one would you want to be like. Deal?" The little girl still was puzzled, but still she agreed. So her dad started telling her the story. There was once a little boy on his knees at a beautiful beach, scooping and packing sand with his plastic shovel into a bucket. When he filled the bucket, he turned it over and lifted the bucket. To the little boy's delight, he now created a tower for his castle. The little boy continued doing so for the whole day, creating his kingdom. He even made a moat with his spoon, a bridge with his popsicle stick, and walls with the help of his other tools. After a whole day of hard work, he finally built his dream castle. He was so proud of himself as he had sacrificed so much that day to get the job done. Unlike his friends who played games and went for ice cream shop, an young boy worked the whole day to build this castle. Then the day came to an end, and with it, the tide and waves. The waves destroyed what the little boy was creating for what seemed him a whole eternity. The boy, not feeling any anger, looked around to see if anything was left so that he could use next time, and then decided to study the waves that destroyed his castle. Then there was a businessman who lived and worked in big city with busy streets and noisy traffic. The businessman shuffled the papers into the stacks, spoke constantly on the phone, delegated assignments over phone or email, punching each word like crazy on the keyboard with his fingers. He was good with numbers and words, and because of it, contracts were signed easily. Every time a contract was signed, the businessman made a big profit. So the businessman spent his life formulating plans and building his kingdom, as the little boy did with the sand castle at the beach. The two builders had very much in common. They both made something beautiful out of nothing. Also, they both were very diligent and determined to build their world. But both weren't ready for the tide that was sure to come one day. The boy saw the tide many times and knew what would follow and then how to do things better the next time. But the businessman never saw the tide coming. And once it did, he tried to hold everything together, even though he knew he could not. The boy learned to feel no sorrow, no fear, and no regret when the tide came. He was not surprised what had happened. He just smiled, picked up his tools, and was prepared to do things better next time. He knew that if something that you have no control of happening to you, it does not matter that much. What does matter is how you react to those situations. On the other hand, the businessman was terrified of the tide and the waves. He fought them for many years, but eventually they have gotten too big for him to stop them. And like the sandcastle was washed away, so was his business and his courage to try one more time. So you see, little one, both could not control what happened. What happens, happens. But the lesson is the same for both of them. The outcome always depends on how you react to the things that happen to you. The dad stopped walking and knelt down and looked at his daughter. He saw his daughter's face. So, the little one, which one are you? Are you the little boy or you're like the businessman? The little girl looked at her dad and replied, I'm like the little boy. I will never give up. I understand now what I have to do. The little girl continued to play chess and she practiced, read books and articles and viewed other players and how they played. And most importantly, she learned from her mistakes. She never gave up on the things she wanted to do from then on out. And if anyone asked her, where did she get that motivation from? She would just reply, you can't decide what will happen to you, but you can decide how you will react when it does. And I chose to never stop, never give up. It all depends upon how you react when the waves come. Stay blessed.